Hello everyone, welcome to Defense IAS Academy. Our today's topic is major approaches to the history of modern India. Let us move further regarding this topic. Historiography. The starting point in the history of society is termed as historiography. We have some approaches under that. Let us discuss some. First one is the colonial approach. One relates to the history of the colonial countries, while the other refers to the works which were influenced by the colonial ideology of denomination. Means we can say some beliefs on the history of, means some relates to the history with the history, and we can say some says that it is influenced by the ideology. It is the second sense that most historians today write about the colonial historiography. Means in the second sense say many of the historians are preferring the colonial approach. We can say certain characteristics common to most of the works of these historians are the following. Number one, Orientalist representation of India, the opinion that the British brought unity to India, the notions of social Darwinism, the English considered themselves superior to the natives and the fittest to rule India, viewed as a stagnant society which required guidance from the British, white man's burden, and establishing Pax Britannica to bring law and order and peace to a bickering society. Means who brought a law and order and peace? He was Pax Britannica. His name was Pax Britannica. Let us move further. Let us move further towards the other approaches under the historiography. We have further 4 types of approaches. 1 we have discussed, 4 we have left. We have total 5. First one is the nationalist approach. First one was the colonial approach. Now the second one is the nationalist approach. This approach to Indian history can be described as one which tended to contribute to the growth of nationalist feelings and to unify people in the face of religious or we can say caste, linguistic, differences or class differentiation. We have one more, that is class differentiation. This approach looked at the national movement as a movement of the Indian people, which grew out of the growing awareness among all people of the exploitative nature of the colonial rule. The nationalist historians of modern India didn't exist before 1947. Before 1947, it was not in existence. It exists after 1947. Let us move towards the another approach, that is the Marxist approach. The beginning of the Marxist approach in India was heralded by 2 classic books. Means according to the 2 classic books it came into the India. Two. Keep remembering 2. The Marxist historians clearly see the primary contradiction between the interest of colonial masters and the subject people. It shows the interest of 2 types of people, that is the colonial masters and the subject people, as well as the process of the nation in the making. We can say A.R. Desai traces the growth of the national movement in 5 phases, each phase based on particular social classes which supported and sustained it. This is about the Marxist approach. Let us turn towards the another approach, that is the subaltern approach. This approach began in the early 1980s, means it began in the 1980s. This historiography took the position that the entire tradition of Indian historiography had an elitist bias. Under this approach, the basic contradiction in Indian society in the colonial epoch was between the elite, both Indians and foreigners. On the other hand, the subaltern groups on the other, and not between the colonialism and the Indian people. Further is the next is the communalist approach. We will move towards the last one approach, that is the communalist approach. Communalist approach. Under this approach, relying completely on the colonial historiography of medieval India and colonial era, textbooks viewed Hindus and Muslims as permanent hostile groups. Which were the two hostile groups? That were the Hindus and Muslims. Whose interests were mutually different and antagonistic to each other. Means they had differences in between them. It was also argued that the 19th and 20th century Muslims had the happy and proud over-present memory of having been the ruling class, while Hindus had the sad and humiliating memory of having been the subject race. Means Hindus were criticized and the Muslims were happy. Whereas Hindus were sad. And we can say Muslims were like proud, whereas Hindus were humiliated. Let us move further. This is the 5 types of approaches under the historiography. Let us move towards the another topic under this concept. Next is the liberal and non-liberal interpretation. According to this interpretation, the economic exploitation of colonies was not beneficial to the British people as a whole. The availability of the markets for British industrial goods in the colonial world and capital investment in overseas market might have actually discouraged domestic investment and delayed the development of the new industries in Britain. Next topic is the feminist historiography. The shift in terms of the return of women's history began with the women's movement of the 1970s, which provided the context and impetus for the emergence of women's studies in India. Very soon, just keep it in mind, very soon, women's history broadened and assumed the more complex shape of gender history. Let us summarize this whole concept. Different approaches. First one is the colonial approach, is influenced by the colonial ideology of domination. It focuses on criticism of indigenous society and culture and praises the Western culture and values. James Mill, Vincent Smith, etc. followed the approach. Next is the nationalist approach, evolved as a response to and in confrontation with the colonial approach. Before independence, this school dealt with the ancient and medieval periods in Indian history and not the modern period. Next is the Marxist approach. It focuses on the primary contradiction between the interest of the colonial masters and the native subjects. Keep in mind, it had the contradiction between the interest of the colonial masters and the native subjects, as we have studied former also. So next is the subaltern approach. It takes the position that the entire tradition of Indian historiography has an elitist bias and the role of the common masses has been neglected. Next is the communalist approach. Views Hindus and Muslims as permanent the hostile groups whose interests are mutually different and antagonist to each other. Next is the liberal and non-liberal interpretation. This is the next topic which we had already discussed, and you can see on the board also. Imply that the economic exploitation of the colonies was not beneficial to the people of Britain as it delayed the development of the new industries in Britain. Next is the feminist historiography. It focuses on area of research that analyze colonial structures such as the legal structure which affected women's life. It also focuses on women's vulnerability due to the denial of the ownership of productive resources. This is all about this topic. This is just a topic which we have covered. Hope you like. If you like, please subscribe. Thank you.